Hey, everybody. On this episode, I talked to Heidi Thompson. She is a best selling author at Clone Your Best Client and the wedding business coach and marketing strategist behind Evolve Your Wedding Business, where she helps wedding professionals book more clients and craft a business that gives them income, life, and freedom that they want. We are talking about the Book More Wedding Summits coming up in August. I would love for you to join us. Make sure to check the show notes for the link. Let's dive in. Welcome to the Accidental CEO podcast, where we bridge the gap between the creativity you love and the CEO mindset you need. I'm your host, Nata Salvatori, wedding photographer and business educator. Find full show notes and resources at accidentalceopod.com. Let's get into today's episode. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Accidental CEO podcast. I'm your host, Nata Salvatori. And today I have Heidi Thompson with me. She is a best-selling author of Clone Your Best Clients, which is what we're going to talk about today. And she has a wedding business coach and marketing strategy in another business called Evolve Your Wedding Business, which is amazing. She has conferences, summits, all kinds of good things for you to learn from her. And she helps wedding professionals book more ideal clients and craft a business that gives them that income, life, and freedom that they want. Welcome, Heidi.
Hey, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, so tell us just a little bit about what your business look like right now. What is the current status of the business, where you're located and all that, and then we'll backtrack a little bit and talk about how you got to where you are today.
Sure. So I live in San Diego. When I started the business, I lived in the UK, so it's been a journey. But for the past 12 years, I've been working with wedding professionals to help them attract and book more of the weddings that they really want to have. And like you said, build that business that actually gives you flexibility, because it kills me when I see people that are doing well in terms of the finances of the business, doing well in terms of they're fully booked out, but they have no time to enjoy that. They have no life. They have no flexibility. Their business runs them. And I absolutely hate to see it. It's the biggest thing in the world that kills me when you see a business that is on paper successful, but their life sucks and they don't get to have the life that they want as a result of running the business. So I like to bring those things together. And like I said, I've been doing that for the past 12 years. It's been a journey for sure, but at the moment, the main ways that I work with wedding professionals is through my membership, where I've really brought together coaching, accountability, and courses that I've created and put them into like an easy to follow roadmap for people to actually make progress. And through these summits, Book More Wedding Summit and Wedding Business CEO Summit are both huge parts of my business, and they involve a lot of awesome people like you.
Yeah, that's great. We'll talk a little bit more about the summit at the end because we want to invite you guys to attend. But before, I want to hear the story about how you ended up in the creative entrepreneur arena. I know you did something a little bit different before, so tell us about that story of how you evolved from when you first started, what did you do then, and how you ended up on where you are today.
Yeah, I got into event planning in college, working on fundraising events for a nonprofit, and I really enjoyed it. Thought, okay, I want to get into the wedding world, did some work on that. I worked under a wedding planner in my area. And then I moved to the UK, which immigration is a whole thing. And so that definitely became the most important thing. And okay, whatever, just get a job, see where you can go from there. I stumbled into a marketing job and I fell absolutely in love with marketing, but I was still, planning events. I was still, keeping an eye on this industry because I really enjoyed it and I really love the creativity in it. And I found a gap. This was in 2011. So this was like the beginning of the surge of offbeat bride and doing things your way with your wedding. So I created a wedding show that brought together couples who wanted that and some of the most creative vendors I've ever had the pleasure of working with who were doing things differently and creatively and amazingly in so many different ways. And I found myself needing to help them get a as good of a return as possible on the fee they were paying. And that's when I kind of realized that, oh, just because you own a business doesn't mean you're into marketing, doesn't mean you know what you're doing when it comes to marketing. So that's where I kind of found those worlds collide and was able to bring my marketing experience in all sorts of different industries and the wedding industry experience together in order to support these businesses that really should be making more money, especially at the time.
So that's great. You definitely saw the need for that help with marketing, which, is definitely true. We'll see that often, especially when I'm coaching my clients too. Everybody seems to struggle a little bit with that. But at the end of the day, we didn't get training for that. We didn't go to school for that. So it's, I don't expect people to know it, but I do expect them to recognize the need and the importance of marketing, really how to focus on that and how to look for the right help for that. So that's great that you were able to create a business around addressing that for clients. So I love that.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I mean, I get to do the parts that I really love and teach the parts that I really love. And those are the parts that they struggle with and they hate. So I get to see like serious leaps in people's business because they've been neglecting that area. And then all of a sudden they start giving it proper strategy and proper attention and they can take off, and it's so much fun, it's so rewarding, and I just love to nerd out on marketing stuff.
It's good. Yeah, we definitely need more of that. So we're glad to have you. Let's talk a little bit about cloning your best client. I know that's one of the things that you teach your clients very often. Is that any different than really finding your ideal client? Is that a little tweak to that? So let's talk through that process.
Yeah, it's a different process. I feel like what has been taught for a really long time is like imagine a person and give them a name and give them a coffee order and, just make up these things about them. But the problem with that is that person may or may not actually exist. And if you build your marketing around somebody that doesn't exist, well, that's going to be a pretty big problem. So the approach that became Clone Your Best Clients was the approach that I had been using for myself and my clients, where we identify, okay, who are the people that you've worked with that you wish you could clone and you could work with over and over and over again. And then we are going to talk to them and we're going to ask them a series of questions to figure out, what's going on in their head, because marketing is psychology and you can't do it well unless you understand what the person you're marketing to is actually thinking. Not what you think they're thinking, because we're almost always wrong when we try to guess about that, but we actually go and get information directly from the people and then build the marketing plan around that exact person in order to really create a magnet for more of those people. So that's kind of it in a nutshell.
That's good. What do you think is so important to clone that best client when it comes to building the business around it? Why is it important to connect? Because we know why, but some people out there might be struggling to understand, like, why is it so important that I look for a specific person? Why can't I just try to take all the kinds of clients that I can get?
Yeah, so you can take whatever clients you want, but your marketing should be focused on your specific person that you want to attract. And that's for a few different reasons. One, it really helps you stand out. It really helps you become the go to person for that specific ideal client so they can easily find you. There are a lot of people that do things that they don't talk about in their marketing that would really position them as like the go-to person for their specific client, but they're just not talking about it in their marketing. So people don't know when they're researching, when they have 15 tabs open with different photographers, they're not able to tell, oh my God, this person is the perfect fit for me versus, okay, this person, I guess they could work. And what I see is most people fall into that, I guess this could work. And when we fall into that category, that's a very dangerous category because it usually results in being compared on price because there's nothing else that they see that really differentiates you from the next person. So positioning yourself as, that exact person for someone, it allows you to charge higher prices. It helps people find you. It helps people get excited and want to book, you and only you because you're in a category of your own. You're no longer competing in the wedding photographer, the wedding planner category. You're competing in a much more specific category that you dominate. And I think a lot of people might think that that narrows who you would attract. I find it actually expands it in a really weird, counterintuitive way. So there is a client I have. She is an officiant and she is first generation Cuban, and she has used her background to build this business where she builds ceremonies for first generation couples, usually of Hispanic families, whose parents are much more religious than them, whose grandparents are much more religious than them, but they're Americans. They didn't grow up in the same way and they have that first generation experience. So they're more spiritual. They want to incorporate some things, but not other things. And they don't know how to do that, but they want to work with someone who understands that. She started marketing that really specifically, she's bilingual in English and Spanish. It's pretty clear who she works with. She started attracting all sorts of other people who had this problem, but weren't in that same group. So she was attracting Jewish couples who, were trying to balance that same thing. Muslim couples who were trying to balance that same thing of like, my parents want this, my grandparents want this. I'm not sure how to blend this and make it something that is really us while still paying respect to the people that I love. So those people would have never found her if she didn't, become the go-to person for people with this specific problem. So it actually made her more visible and made it so that more people could find her. Now, if someone comes to her and they don't fit that perfect mold, sure, she could decide to work with them. They are probably not going to be like the front face of her portfolio. Her marketing is focused on attracting this kind of person, but it doesn't mean that like you're not allowed to work with anybody. You can do whatever you want. It's your business.
Yeah, I think it's about the concept of if you are talking to everyone, you're speaking to no one, right?
Yeah.
So your
It
message
gets
needs,
so vague
yeah,
and you aren't, it puts you in that position of like, I guess this person could do what I want, as opposed to like, oh my God, this is the absolute perfect person for what I want. And I would love to see more people in that category because that just shuts down the comparisons.
yeah, and I think investing your time into really finding that right client for you makes a huge difference because working with the wrong person will cost you more time and more money than any specific marketing strategy you're going to put out there. So making sure that you're really taking the time to work with the right people so you can continue to see more of those clients and just have that job satisfaction. You're happy. There is no Mondays because you just love what you do. You're working with the people that you enjoy all the time. It's definitely a good thing to put some effort into and some time and some budget into creating that ideal message to your your best cloning your best client, really doing exactly what Heidi's talking about thinking about who have you worked with in the past that has been absolutely phenomenal. You enjoy spending time with them and really going through the process of cloning that person. So absolutely love that concept.
Yeah, and it's so much easier to base your marketing on someone that you actually know, that you can ask questions to, and they can tell you, and they will tell you exactly what spoke to them, exactly why they chose to work with you instead of someone else. And you can really call attention to that in your marketing, and your marketing becomes so much easier because it's so obvious who you're for and who you're not for.
Let's talk a little bit about the summit because I want to make sure that people know about that. They take advantage of it. They understand what it is and how can they participate. So let's talk about the summit.
Yes. So, Book More Wedding Summit is a free 5-day online conference where all types of wedding professionals come together and learn about how they can book more of the clients they really want to be working with, even when things are slow, like we're hearing from a lot of people right now. And you are going to hear from over 30 incredible people, all different ways you can do this. People bringing different perspectives, different expertise on different topics that are all really focused on helping you book more weddings and book more of the right weddings. And it's happening August 19th through the 23rd. It's coming up pretty soon.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, you are one of our amazing speakers who I'm
Yay.
very excited to have on board. Why don't you talk a little bit about what you're going to be teaching?
Yes, it's awesome. I'm very grateful to be joining the team. Heidi has some amazing speakers, so you definitely need to check it out. We're going to be linking the summit for you so you can get your tickets straight from the show notes from today's episode. I'll be talking about selling from a place of love, which is something that I really enjoy talking about. I feel like every time you hear the word salesperson or sales, there's this cringe sensation that goes through your body, as we all have had some very uncomfortable and possibly negative experiences in the past. So, my whole goal is to help you guys understand, just recognize your limiting beliefs and negative connotations around sales, help you understand that this is something you need to have a business. You're either selling a product or selling a service. We all do it. You have to do it to be a business and to stay a business. It did help you kind of transition and change your mindset around that and help you create some different beliefs that are going to put you in a more at ease and make you comfortable during the selling process, which again we all need. And it's something you're doing, and I talk about this in the lecture. Selling is something you do for your client and not something you do to your client, and that's
I
something
love
we need to
that.
definitely understand and take on that kind of mindset when it comes to selling. So I'm excited to share that with your audience. What if people cannot attend live? What are the options?
Yeah, so the way it works is everyone gets access to that day's presentations for 24 hours totally free. If you can't make it, if you want access to those presentations forever and a ton of extra bonuses, you can pick up either our all access pass or the Wedding Pro Power Pack. You will get the option after you pick up your free ticket to grab one of those at the lowest price available. And it gives you the option to either just pick up the recordings and the transcripts with the all access pass, or get access to a bunch of VIP events, as well as all of these incredible bonuses that our speakers have so kindly contributed in the power pack, so that way you have lifetime access. You can come back to these. You don't feel like you have to take them all in during the week, like trying to drink from a fire hose. I get it's a lot we have going on for sure. So those options are available for you. And like I said, after you grab your free ticket with Nata's link, you will get the option to grab one of those at the cheapest price available. So be sure to check
Perfect.
those out.
Yes, that's great because, we all have things scheduled and might not be able to make it live. So it's great that you guys have access for free for all this pretty amazing content that Heidi put together with all the speakers and all the freebies, all the goodies that we also put together for you guys. And also have the option to have access after that. So it's very nice that she offers that to you guys as well.
Yeah, I want it to be flexible. If you want access to it afterwards, great. If you don't, great. Just come along, grab your free ticket. If you attend one presentation and get something out of it that you can apply and make changes in your business that makes it easier for you to book more weddings, that was so well worth your time.
Heidi, what is the one last thing you want to leave our listeners with as far as a message, an encouragement, or something for their business?
I think one of the most important lessons I've learned is that you can't truly fail unless you stop trying. So if you continue to fail, what certainly feels like failure as you're trying to figure something out in your business, you can choose to learn from it or you can choose to quit. And if you choose to learn from it, you get closer and closer and closer to being able to accomplish whatever it is you're trying to accomplish. And I think just refusing to quit, that I will not stop trying. If you can take that mindset, like you never really officially fail. You find ways to make things work because it literally becomes the only option when you take, oh, maybe I'll just quit. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I'll walk away from this off the table, because that's not the issue. It's never the issue. The issue is always something, a lot of times, in the marketing side of the business. It's just not working and you just need to figure it out or just adjust something or adjust how you're selling. And you're usually about 95% of the way there. So refusing to quit, I think, is one of the most important skills I've learned along my business journey.
Absolutely. Building that resilience muscle for your business is so crucial. And seeing those failures as feedback. We can learn from everything. And like you said, you haven't failed until you completely quit. Keep going, keep at it. And we can't wait to see you guys at the summit. Make sure you grab the link in our show notes. Heidi, where can they connect with you if they want to learn a little bit more about all the things you have to offer?
Yeah, so my website is evolveyourweddingbusiness.com. You can find everything I do there, including my podcast. And the place that I'm most active is Instagram, where I am Evolve Your Wedding Business. So come shoot me a DM, say hey.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for coming hang out with us. It was fun to listen a little bit about the strategy for that cloning your ideal client. Super excited about people learning a little bit more about that. And we can't wait to see you at the summit.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. We'll see you guys in the next episode of the Accidental CEO podcast. Bye. And that's a wrap for today's episode of the Accidental CEO podcast. Thanks for hanging out with us in the world where creativity and business strategy collide. I am Nata Salvatori, thrilled to have shared this time with you. Remember, every episode is a step closer to mastering the art of being an accidental CEO. So don't miss out. Hit subscribe, drop us a sweet review, and spread the word to your creative tribe. Your next big breakthrough could be just one episode away. Join us next time for more insights, laughs, and actionable tips. Keep pushing boundaries, dreaming big, and embracing the beautiful chaos of entrepreneurship. Here's to make magic happen in your business and beyond.